I invite Honorary National Secretary Shri Pradeep Gowda Garu take over.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have two challenges. One is to wake you all up or keep you all awake. Second is discuss about this challenging topic in the next 30 minutes in the most acceptable manner. I'll try my best. This is what we are trying to achieve. So, desire, when it is out of control, what it leads to is what we are understanding today. Next slide. We'll take a traditional route of understanding the 5 elements condensed in the body into Vata, Pitta, Kapha. This is how we understand the traditional way of analyzing. Many of the shlokas are written in the classics also are based on this. There is a modern approach that we have taken in medical astrology, but this approach gives us a maximum result when we start understanding what are the functions of these 3 doshas. Next one. Next one. The kapha part of it. You can take a slide of this. If you understand this, you will know which area is likely to get affected by any of these 3 doshas. Kapha part of it is usually, function of it is to lubricate and hold a particular organ. Pitta part of it is usually the digestion part of it, so it is in the navel. Kapha part of it is above the diaphragm, and the Vata part of it is to move out. It is to movement. It is to move things out of the body. When there is excess Pitta, I'll just give you an example. When there is an excess Pitta, first what the fire will do is burn out the water part. Then what happens? The Vata is a very subtle one. It's a selfish dosha. It just goes and takes over where the Kapha part has been burnt. Hence, suddenly you start feeling there is a gastroesophageal reflux problem, acidity problem, all those things that will start coming. I'll just give you an example. I'll give you all one more formula. If you ever want to diagnose and pinpoint, so when a Vata denoting 1 affects the structural part of it, there can be growth inside the ear. When a Pitta one affects, there can be another effect. Right? That is how we start understanding. But if you look at the gathering part of it, brain is what we are trying to understand. And in the interest of time, I'm going to restrict myself. All 3 doshas are present in the brain part of it, whether it is Kapha, Pitta or Vata. That's not the case with other areas. You can take a snapshot of it and read through, or else I'll share the PPT also later. Which one, sir? Brain. All 3, for example, if you take the gathering, the last part of it, gathering 1, the eyes are, if you take eyes, it is Pitta. Pitta is where, eyes are where Pitta is the dosha that gathers. But in the brain, all 3 are possibility. For example, let's take, there is a water accumulation in the brain. So normally we see affliction to Jupiter, because that is also one of the signification for the brain that is given. But if there is a memory part of it, that is a problem. You bring in other type of planets into picture. So here what we are trying to understand is the brain part of it, because we are talking about disturbed mind. Next. Yeah. 7 types of dhatus. These are all part of our syllabus only. I'm not teaching anything, or I'm not showing anything that is not part of our syllabus. 7 types of dhatus. And in the interest of the time, I'm going to limit it to 3 points. First point, when these tissues get damaged, immunity gets damaged. This is the first rule that we need to understand. Second, each tissue is formed from the one immediately previous to it. Which means to say, if the marrow has to be right, the bone has to be right. Okay? A good, healthy bone creates a situation where a good marrow is formed. A good marrow ensures that there is good Shukra in either in a male or a female. The words you see, the core function of them is Dharana, Purana, and Garbhotpatti. Whenever Venus involves in any creativity, it takes a long-standing approach. Like Venus is used for creation only, right? So 120 years is what we look at. Even when Venus participates in a disease-giving combination, it's usually a chronic kind of a problem that we start looking at. Here, bone and marrow are very, very important. Look at where marrow is. It's either anything inside a bone, a spinal cord, or brain. Brain is what we are understanding now. Even in spinal cord disorders, affliction to mass becomes the final linchpin in terms of diagnosis. Now you see, waste, lacrimal secretions. Each of these tissues have some kind of a waste product also. Whosoever is having a mind-related problem, they will have eyes play a very, very big role. And when the marrow is struggling in the body, is afflicted, eyes show up. And if it is connected to spinal cord or the brain, it is for the astrologer to diagnose it. So these three rules, please remember. The first rule is when these tissues get damaged, immunity gets damaged. Each tissue is formed from the one immediately previous to it. And the third one is a healthy marrow on a mental plane prevents emptiness of the mind. Right? In the bone, it's a very hollow cavity. The function of the marrow is to go fill it. If this marrow starts getting afflicted by Vata, then there will be empty spaces and there will be an issue that will happen. And if it happens in the skull area, especially in the brain area, it creates a lot of problem. Next. Go on all four. Yeah. So the function of the marrow is filling. Bone is a hollow one. And when well-filled bone with marrow retains little empty space for Vata accumulation. But if it is filled with a lot of Vata, then it creates situations like nervousness, restlessness. It's just that the individual is not control of the movements, especially if it happens in the brain part of it.
And the real is not chance. All of these are